What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. I apologize for putting the video out late today. Just know that there's been a whole lot of errors going on, stuff I had to fix. You know, I'm not computer savvy. I fixed it. Hopefully everything's good, and hopefully you enjoy the video. So, once again, here we go with Danny Masterson. I asked in another video what the fascination is with this individual, and there's been a lot of different theories, a lot of different comments regarding that, right? But one of them that was, for me at least, fascinating was someone said the character Hyde that he played on the 70s show was a troubled kid with a good heart. And they said maybe some people can't differentiate the character from the real person. Well, I can. And hopefully now people see he's nothing like his character. There are people saying maybe he didn't do it. Maybe he didn't do it. Well, he was convicted of it. I'm not going to lie. I personally have heard and know of instances where it was a lie. And, but this is something like over decades, right? Like, can it be wrong that many years now? What we're going to talk about today is there are these terms being thrown around regarding Danny Masterson and his incarceration so far in the California Department of Corrections. And two terms that are being thrown around are crisis unit and crisis bed. Well, let me go ahead and step in if nobody else has done it and explain. He's in the infirmary. The crisis unit he's just in the infirmary. The guy that breaks his leg is probably next to him. The guy that broke his leg, is probably next to him. There's no crisis for him. He is on suicide watch, from my understanding, from what he told the cops was, you know, that he was feeling like he was going to hurt himself. Why? Apparently there's a whole line of people that'll do it for you. You don't take it out on yourself, big dog. I was never on suicide watch. I've been on potty watch. I don't know if it's the same as far as when you're on potty watch. Potty watch is when they think you're holding contraband inside of you, and they make you go to the bathroom. They make you defecate 3 times, right? And so what they'll do is, those, if you haven't heard already, they'll put a pair of boxers on you. They strip you out first, boom. Then they give you a pair of boxers back, boom. You put them on. Then they give you another pair of boxers and you put them on backwards. And then they tape them, the legs and the waist. Then they give you a jumpsuit and you throw the jumpsuit on. Then they give you a second jumpsuit and you put that on backwards. And then they tape, if it has wrists, they tape that. They tape the waist. Then they put you on a waist chain. Then they handcuff you. They padlock your wrist with cuffs on to your sides, because they don't want you to be able to get through the duct taping into your pants and in your boxers or in your jumpsuit and all that and get the stuff up. And then they have a CO that sits at the cell you're in, because you're going to be like, when I was on potty watch, I was in medical. They have holding cells in medical, perforated doors, and the CO sits in a chair his whole entire shift and watches you. At shift change, another CO comes and sits in that chair and watches you. And they wait for you to defecate 3 times. Each time you do, they bring you out, put you in the... Anyways, so that's what they do. I don't know if... I would assume that because Danny Masterson... you know what? I don't know. He's the CDC number now. He's not Danny Masterson anymore. He's not special. But either they have a CO at the door monitoring him, or they have a camera and somebody monitoring the camera. He's probably got one of those damn space jumpsuits on, so he can't hurt himself. There's going to be nothing in there. And He's going to be there however long he's going to be. It's not some, they say crisis. It's not, he doesn't have nurses at his beck and call, and he doesn't have anyone, staff or inmate, who has any sympathy for him, gives a fuck about him. The inmates, convicts around him, they're doing their time. The staff, they're getting their 8, getting their money, and they go home. Danny Masterson is no longer and will no longer be in a place for a very long time. He will not be around anyone who gives a fuck about him. So there's going to be some people that are going to say, that's kind of mean to say that. No, he's in prison. Prison is about self-preservation. Someone like Danny Masterson, I never came up with a name for him, so I could stop saying his name. He serves zero purpose for anybody. I've made several videos already where this wasn't a good move. Whoever in his camp told him that this was a good move, I'm promising you, it's not. EOP is where he would wind up. If he keeps pushing down this line, he's going to wind up in EOP. And in some ways, that's even worse. Because like I said, they're not going to be able to keep him isolated. Even if he goes EOP, he's going to go to get released to EOP yard. EOP yards, they sometimes in certain prisons, they go out with S&Y guys. And the group that keeps being named as the ones that want to get him would be able to get on that same yard with him. I do want to say one thing though. All these channels, and I guess now I'm included, right? Because I'm keeping my finger on the pulse, and I figured out that's what you got to do on YouTube sometimes. I think all the channels on YouTube, like I don't mention the name. I did one time, right? In the first video, I don't mention the name of the group that supposedly has an assassin. I have to do it like Pablo did. An assassin has been assigned. I don't mention that group, but because I know they're going to just jack that group up. Any group mentioned, they're going to jack them up. Not because they give a damn about Danny Masterson, but because they know that maybe there could be a lawsuit later. Well, this group was mentioned fucking 9 million times on social media, especially on YouTube, by all these damn YouTubers. Why didn't you shake them up? So the cops go and they shake them down, and they're not really looking for nothing. They're just making sure that they can be sued, right? So I guess all the YouTube channels reporting on this shit are making things safer for that fool. But it doesn't matter. It just, dude, if it's prolonging the inevitable, doesn't that kind of make things worse mentally? Danny Masterson isn't built. He hasn't lived. He hasn't done jail time as a kid. Something I'm not proud of, but that's a fact, is I could be dropped into any prison anywhere on the planet and do time. And that's because I was making horrible damn decisions as a child that led to my incarceration starting at the age of 13. I didn't stop being incarcerated until I was 43. Well, let's hit that one. Shit. So the years of juvenile incarceration, engagement in traumatic experiences, violent experiences, equip me to have the mental capacity to understand what my environment was and why I was there, right? It was part of the program. This dude, Masterson, him prolonging this and doing this, crisis unit stuff. We're just going to say that because I don't want to say what it was, because I don't know what if YouTube trips, if I keep using the word that he's saying he wanted to hurt himself, right? All it's doing is prolonging it. So now he's sitting in a cell and he's got the damn spacesuit on so he can't harm himself, right? And he's got to be thinking, what the fuck am I going to do next? You should have went out to the yard and seen if it was really real. You should have went out to the yard and seen, has the assassin arrived? Is the assassin on your yard yet? I apologize for laughing, but it's just the drama that's being attached to this. Prison is prison. Somebody with the type of charges that he has is going to get touched some way, somehow. Is he going to crisis himself into a more dangerous yard? It looks like it. And this goes back to him not knowing anything about the system. Like, there's something he could do that it's still just going to prolong it. But it would have worked better than these crisis scenarios. But I will not tell him what he should be doing. I believe there's probably a couple channels that have said what he could do. But I won't. I'm just listening to what's being put out there, and I'm amazed at how drama filled and dramatic a lot of these scenarios are, and these I don't know, it's almost Hollywood like, right? Like, the reality is this: prison is very violent. Prison is very dangerous. People who have targeted and been convicted of targeting women, children, and the elderly, well, things are more dangerous and more violent for you. You earned that. You don't get to choose to, in free society, target women, children, and the elderly, abuse those groups, and then come in and think, I'm fine here. See, in other states, you'll see, like, if you watch those First 48 and all that, and they go to these other states, you know, and they got these guys, and they're right there programming with everybody, and they're like, hey, what'd you get busted for? And they use the R word. Oh, I did this. And nobody around them bats an eye. I guarantee you, in California, if a camera crew entered a yard, I don't care what yard it is, and they interviewed somebody with a crowd of people around them, and they asked them, hey, what are you in prison for? And they said that R word, I guarantee you somebody is going to smack that fool with something. I'm not encouraging violence. I'm just breaking down what it is in prison. People in prison do not care about people's feelings out here and how they should be functioning in society. They ain't in society. They're in prison society now. Prison rules. And as I've said in a lot of other videos, prison rules are fluid. Day to day. They apply to 99.9%. And they apply to 99.9 scenarios. But every now and then a rule is broken, or not even broken. It's bent a little bit. But when it comes to sex offenders, it's always been the same. When it comes to people who target women, children, and the elderly, nobody wants them around. So this guy, again, he did the whole crisis unit, he went to the fucking infirmary. He's going to get put on medication. It's going to slow him down and make him less able to defend himself. But, you know, we should not at any time be worried at this point. From what we have heard, he should not even be worried about trying to defend himself because an assassin has been assigned. You can't beat that guy, Masterson. Take your lickings, chump. Anyways, that's my video for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, leave a comment. Let me know what you want to see next. I did another Danny Masterson because I'm just seeing all this stuff going around. I find it funny, the scenarios that are put out there and the terminology. And it is true, 100%. They do, staff refer to it as the crisis unit in the paperwork and the crisis bed. It's the fucking infirmary. He has gone to the infirmary, and the guy next to him might have a broken leg. Another guy next to him might have a broken jaw. Another guy next to him, who knows what the fuck happened to him. He's just sitting there because he just want to sit there, probably like Danny or Mr. Masterson. Why did I call him Danny or Mr. Masterson? Too much respect both times. Anyways, that's my video for today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them. I'm out.